Okay, we're back and we are getting ready to continue our discussion on scientific notation. We're going to look at a few examples, and our first example is, how many seconds would you have been in school this year? Now, you know the school district requires 185 days for students. You're actually in school for 7.5 hours per day. How many minutes? Multiply that number by 60, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. And then multiply that number by 60, because there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. And what answer will you come up with? 4,995,000. We're going to write that number in scientific notation, which is going to show you that it's really making it quite easy for someone to read when you write numbers that are very, very large or very, very small in scientific notation. All right, let's look at that number again. We're multiplying 185 days times 7.5 hours times 60 seconds times 60 minutes times 60 seconds will give us 4,995,000 seconds for the entire year for 2014. Now, we're getting ready to put this in scientific notation. How are we going to do it? It takes 2 steps for scientific notation. You're actually moving your decimal, and then you're moving it back to check it. All right, here we go. We're going to write the number 4,995,000. In order to write a number in scientific notation, we have to remember 2 steps. The first one is you need to write the number so that it looks like a number between 1 and 10. A number between 1 and 10. In other words, we need to move our decimal from the end over how many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll park our decimal right behind that 4. Now it looks like 4.995000. How many places did we move our decimal? We actually moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We moved it 6 places. What power do we need to use for 10? 10 to what power will move our decimal 6 places? Well, 10 to the 6th power times 4.995. So we're going to drop the zeros, and we're just going to use the digits that are not 0, which is 4.995 times 10 to the 6th power. Why don't you put this number in your calculator and see what answer you will get? Will you get what we started with, 4,995,000? If you do, then you did it right. We're going to look at a few more examples in just 1 second. Let me give you one to work on, and then we're going to pause, let you work on that, come back and see if you got it right. Okay, here's the problem. It says the distance from the surface of the earth to the surface of the moon is actually 375,000 kilometers. That's 375,000 kilometers. How do we write that number in scientific notation? First step is to turn this number into a number that appears to be between 1 and 10. So that means I move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anytime you move your decimal 5 places, you need to have 10 to the 5th power to move it back. So let's put down 3.75 times 10 to the 5th power. Why don't you put in your calculator 3.75 times 10 to the 5th power? Do you get what you started with? If you do, you've done it correctly. You've written this number's 375,000 in scientific notation. All right? Now, I did say I was going to give you one on your own to work out. Let me know if you can get this answer correct. I'm going to erase. Stay right there. I'm going to give you a few to work out on your own. Write these numbers in scientific notation. I'm going to give you 3 of them. $456,900,000. Oh, put that comma in the wrong place. We're in trouble. 12,345,000, and the third one will be 28 million. Write those numbers in standard scientific notation. Right now they're written in standard notation. You're going to translate them into scientific notation. See if you got the understanding. Remember, first step, write your number so it appears to be between 1 and 10. The next thing you need to do is determine what power of 10 you're going to multiply it by in order to create the exact same number that you tried to reduce. All right? Into scientific notation. Thank you. We'll talk soon to see if you got the answer correct.